guys, and welcome back to BMW Fanatic. In this video, I'm going to share my ownership costs after 5 years on my 2008 BMW 335i. That's the N54 engine, which is very common for certain parts that go wrong. There's already been plenty of TSBs for the last 10 years on this car. So I bought this car with 92,000 miles on it. I have 156,000 miles on it. It's only a second owner, so I am the second owner of this car. So it was pretty well maintained prior to me buying it. That's why I bought a high mileage car with even out of warranty. So the last 5 years, I have not had a warranty on my car at all. I've replaced every single part myself. I've never paid somebody to work on my physical car. So in this video, we're gonna talk about ownership costs, and that is going to be no modifications whatsoever, so I won't list any kind of mods on here. Strictly maintenance items, gas, and insurance. I'll throw in depreciation at the very end just so you can have like an idea of how much this car depreciated over the last 5 years. But I'm gonna stick to the very basic stuff as far as, like what to really expect. What are you gonna pay out of your pocket? You're gonna, of course, put gas in it. You, of course, have to insure it, and of course, you have to maintain it. Maintain is probably the biggest one that everyone wants to know about, so let's get started. I'm gonna start with the very, very basic stuff just to get those out of the way, and then we'll do the car stuff next. So first, right out the gate, gas, I'm at $9,152 in the last 5 years of filling this up. You have to use premium 93 octane on this car, or if you have 91 octane if you're in California. Next up is insurance. So the car is fully covered. Now, of course, with owning a home like I have here, you get discounts, and of course, accident-free, knock on wood, 34 years old and accident-free. I never had an accident since driving since 16, so knock on wood there. So the cost, I'm at $3,900 for the fully covered insurance on the car. And that's actually at a great rate per month just for the car, but of course, being older, over 25 helps. So if you're under 25, it's definitely gonna be much more, and depending on which insurance agent you go through. Let's go ahead, jump over to the car. We're gonna go through every single thing. I'll walk you through the entire cars, everything I replaced, and then we'll go from there. We're gonna start with the engine bay first. Hood struts, $35 as well for the pair. Replace those were original ones. Cowl filter, replaced twice at $25 times 2. Windshield washer fluid, I've gone through about 5 gallons at like $5 a piece. I don't use it that much. It does hold a lot because it does have the headlight sprayers down there. So the tank is very, very big, and like I said, I hardly use it too. So $5 times 5. Coolant, I've gone through 5 gallons of coolant through, replacing water pump and any kind of leaks I had, draining, flushing, all that. And those are $20 a piece for 5 gallons. Vacuum hoses, I did all the BMW spec vacuum hoses. That's $200. Primary O2 sensors, that's $150 times 2. Check out the DIY up there at the top too. And I'm gonna be putting cards at the top for anything that I have a DIY on. So if you guys need to change anything, then you can reference that DIY. Internal engine, so engine oil. I've gone through Mobil 1, 0W40, Castrol, 0W40, and Liquid Moly, 0W40, and 5W40 on here. So I went through 2 oil changes of the Mobil 1 0W40. That cost me $50 times 2. Castrol ones, I ran that for quite a while. And that was 5 oil changes, $50 each time. Liquid Moly, it was $100 for the first time because I had to buy 2 5-gallon jugs. And then 5W40 one time at $65. Valve cover, entire valve cover replaced. DIY at the top. That was at $450. It comes with a gasket, all new bolts. Spark plugs, I've gone through 6 different sets at $65 for each set, and 6 different coil sets at $100 each time. I replaced all 6 injectors with BMW genuine Index 12s. That was $750. I did the DIY on that. Check that out up above too. Lot right here, of course. Intake manifold gaskets, $15. I had to take the intake manifold off to do the walnut blasting, and I did that myself. So walnut blasting, $250. Oil cooler gasket, oil filter housing gasket, and oil line gaskets. I changed all three of those out. That was $45 for all three of those gaskets, and then of course did the DIY. Before I had the DCI, I did have the stock airbox, and I replaced the filter twice at $20 a piece. Power steering fluid, $15. Brake fluid, that's up here, $20. All right, so going around the car, I mean, the car looks in really, really great shape. And it looked really good when I got it, but I've made it that much better just with, you know, sealants and waxes and just taking care of it, right? Just cleaning it. So we'll start on just the outside, just so you guys can have the stuff on the outside. I already mentioned car clean stuff, so I'm not gonna do that. It is still on original rotors and pads from when I bought it. So the previous owner replaced the pads and the rotors prior to 92,000 miles, and at 156,000 miles, they still have plenty of life left. They still brake great, and the wear is still really good. So I haven't had to replace any of those. I have replaced the front tires. So front tires have been replaced 3 times, actually, and that is at $250 for the pair times 3. Rear ones have been replaced 3 times as well at $450 for the pair times 3. They are 255, 3518 Pirelli P0 Neros, and then Pirelli P0 Neros, of course, on the front, 225, 3518s. That is sport package height, so it is not lowered at all, still on stock springs. It does have wheel spacers on it, but that's not being included in here. Other than that, on the outside, that is it as far as maintenance goes. So I did have to replace my trunk struts, and that was only $35 for the pair. Those were going out. So heading into the inside, we'll go through the cost that I had to endure for that. Footwell module, burnout, $450. That controls all your lighting, windows, stuff like that. I did the footwell module 3. Did have to replace my CCC navigation unit, and that was $300. And then of course I pulled that out and replaced it myself. It was already coated, inside goes, nav, and footwell module. All right, so I added up everything that I just went through in this video just to make sure that I had the correct math from my receipts that I had. So here I'm going to share just maintenance alone, what my total cost has been for 5 years. So drum roll, total cost was $6,685 as far as parts that I've replaced on my 2008 BMW 335i. It would have been that much more if I did not do like the valve cover DIY, didn't do the injectors, right? Footwell module, navigation screen, O2 sensors, vacuum lines, oil changes. So that would have been probably another $4 grand just in labor alone. And that's definitely gonna be on the low side of things. That's why doing DIYs, following a lot of DIYs out on my channel, you know, that's why I started this channel, to help save you guys money when you're trying to do those DIYs. You don't have to take it anywhere. You know, you can do a lot of this stuff yourself. You can do pretty much everything yourself, right? These cars are easy to work on. They're not difficult. They're just a little time consuming just because you have to take a lot of parts out just to get to the parts that you're trying to get. But if you have a garage or you have like a weekend that you can get something done, just knock out the DIY, you know, knock out your project. You know, you're gonna save yourself easy right off the bat. You know, let's say $500 on a, you know, a process that you're trying to do. You know, that's money that you can put towards your car on like modifications or anything else. You know, after 5 years, yeah, that is a high number. And like I said, it could have been a lot worse. So if we want to add in gas in the car in the last 5 years, and then of course, insurance costs that I already mentioned in the first part of the video, grand total of all 3 of those, since I did the 3, came out to $19,737, almost $20,000 just in normal running costs maintaining the car, and of course just being able to drive it, right? That's it. That doesn't include depreciation or anything else like that. To have a great, fun time with the car, with it having like 100 plus more wheel horsepower than stock. Modding these cars are great, right? They handle the power awesome, especially the N54. N55 just are good too, and they're still a blast to drive and everything else like that. But the problem is that a lot of people jump to mods without taking care of their car first, like the maintenance stuff, like I mentioned here in this video. You have to do that first. Maintenance before modifications. I always try to stress to you guys all the time. So please keep up on your car, because the last thing that you want to have happen is something bad to go wrong with your car. Let's say you held off and replaced injectors and it leaned out in a cylinder, can throw out a rod. It's just stuff like that. It's just, that's the thing, right? Listen to your car is telling you if it's got a problem. By using the proper BMW scan tool to try to depict what the problem is definitely critical, and it helps out very much so. There's my ownership cost for the last 5 years on my BMW N54. All right guys, 156,000 miles on my car right now. Plan on keeping it for a very long time. It has been a great car, right? This car has been really great, even though the costs have been high. They could have been higher and higher and higher and higher. So it definitely does help with buying a well-maintained car ahead of time. This car has almost 160,000 miles on it. Things are gonna go bad and they're gonna break, and that's just the fact of life. So they're breaking at this time period that when I've replaced the bulk of my stuff, the big expensive things, just have been in the last year, recently. Here's to more years of fun ownership with a BMW. Guys, make sure to check out those DIYs that I referenced at the top. Check out my other videos I have on the channel, playlists, stuff like that, so that way you can see all those informational videos, so you can know all about the BMWs in general. So I am doing the giveaway as far as who got the closest to my total 3 costs that I mentioned in the video that I did yesterday, and I'll look through that and do the winner there. That does it for me today. Big thumbs up on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll check you next time. See ya.